Cool. Hi everyone, welcome.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Thanks for tuning in, Mum. Cool. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It's been, it's been good this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
How you been out much or
I haven't.
Water-wise?
I haven't. We've been getting loads of building work done, and yeah, finally getting into the bedroom, which is going to be great.
Saucy.
Yeah, I know. Just been, what is it? Donna made a joke, I think back in August when the builder started.
One joke in 6 months.
One joke, it was terrible. Like to the builders going, as long as we're in before Christmas. And it's February. So yeah, a couple of weeks and we'll be in. But yeah, no, things are good.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you? Anything good this week? What have you been up to? Have you been out on the water? You didn't call me?
Have I been out on the water? Yeah. Once. Had a sneaky paddle.
Oh, you're not allowed to call people, are you?
Yeah, exactly. You're not, that's my excuse for not calling you anyway.
Thanks.
Were you out with Laird Hamilton and his wife? That's the question.
That was me, actually.
Was that you, was it?
Yeah,
Do you...
I sent him it.
Oh, you sent it? Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that was like a head...
Do you know what we're going to do with that?
We're gonna recreate that.
We're going to recreate it.
We'll just stick that up on the screen.
We need to stick that up on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what we're referencing here is
Laird
Hamilton and Gabby
and,
Reece.
yeah, a lovely shot on their board.
But I think what we could also...
My idea, I think, is great.
Well, tell us.
Calendar.
Calendar.
We should do a calendar for 2022.
If you
raise
want
money for the RNLI.
If you want to see that, we'll raise money for the RNLI.
Ian will be naked.
Again.
Do you know the again part?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a funny story.
Please, not
Can I
lunging.
digress?
Is it the lunging one?
Fully nude lunch.
No, so you guys must. Let's tell this one because this is a good one. There'll be a few people who...
I don't know this.
I'm not sure this would go down. So when Dan and I first met, we met at uni. And...
What university?
Surrey in Guildford.
Rubbish.
No, it was rubbish.
Yeah.
Russia. I was studying Russian, like, who... Yeah, anyway. So... Kalashnikov.
Thank you.
До свидания. Молодец. Right. No, we met there and we'd not long been seeing each other, and she was like, hey, my parents are around this weekend. Do you fancy coming with me and meeting my parents? And I was like, yeah, no worries. Sounds good. So we basically at the weekend drove out to this place where her dad and partner lived apparently, and when we as we were pulling, or like 10 minutes away, the phone rang, and I've sort of picked it up and like, yeah. And they've said, we're just ringing to let you know we're still in Tesco's. We're going to be like 20 minutes late. There's a key under the mat. Just let yourselves in and we'll be back in 20 minutes. So we get back to the house, right?
Go on.
And as they described, there's a key under the mat. We let ourselves in. And in the kitchen, on the wall, was this very large portrait of two people completely naked, but just covered in the appropriate place by fig leaves. I was like, what the is that? And Dan's was like, oh, that's parents, they're naturists, they're into that sort of thing. I was
Really?
like, okay, you could have told me this information, but anyway, we'll roll with this. So the parents then arrive 10-15 minutes later. They're bringing all these bags of stuff from the shops, and it's just standard, generic, nice to meet you sort of chat. They drop all this stuff down, and I'm like offering to help put stuff away, right? So I'm putting milk in the fridge, and I turn around, and they've both started taking all their clothes off.
No.
Yeah. And
no,
they sort of paused momentarily, and they were like, "Oh, don't mind us. This is just how we live. If you want to join in, feel free." And I'm like, "I'm all right, thanks."
Where were they getting undressed?
In their kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
You're feeling well overdressed now.
Oh, it was
That's not
ridiculous.
hygienic.
But honestly, pre-COVID. This is long ago.
Yeah.
Right, and so they give a bag of the shopping to Danielle, and they say, "I'll take this to the old lady next door. She's always asking after you at uni." Just go and say hi. We do our weekly shopping for us. So Danielle goes out to the neighbour's house with this bag of shopping, and I'm left with the parents just making small talk, right? They've taken all their clothes off, and I'm sitting there like, oh, we've just kind of, your house, your rules, like, let's just roll with this. And so we're sitting there chatting away. They're asking me like what I'm studying at uni. So I just remember I didn't know where to look. Like, I genuinely didn't know where to look. And I'm just sort of babbling on, I think, about like the war in Chechnya or something, and just like, oh, this is awful. And in my head, I remember going like, you've just got to like ask them, find out about them, like blah blah blah. So I was like, oh, what do you do? And Mum stood up and like came over to me, and she was like, oh, do you know what? We've just taken up salsa classes. And she tried to get me in a salsa. She started by naked. She tried to get me in a salsa hole. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I've got 2 left feet. So I just like sat on this chair, put my hands on here, and I'm just like, this is what's going on. Anyway, the dad, like, was, you know, loads of just random awkward conversation, because I just don't know what to do, where to look, and I'm just like, Dan's, what have you landed me in here?
And you're salsa dancing with his wife, who's completely naked.
Yeah, no, I prohibited the salsa dancing, but and then the dad took this phone call, and he was like, oh Ian, that'd be great, really appreciate it, thanks so much, love that, brilliant, I'll put the kettle on, see you in 20 minutes. Hangs up the phone, turns around to the missus and says, that's old Ian Wright, chairman of the UK Naturist Society, is going to come round and lend his support for me to be chairman next year. He then turns to me and goes, you'll probably know Ian Wright, he used to play football. And I'm sitting there as like a West Ham fan, like a mad footballer, like as a youngster. And so I'm like, what, like the Ian Wright? And in my head, I was just like, you crazy old man, like there's no way you're just talking nonsense. Like, I could completely disregard it. I was just like, what is this fella on? And anyway, so like we carry on sort of chatting, having a cup of tea. 15 minutes later, knock on the door, I'm praying it's Danielle. They open the door, in comes the Ian Wright, ex-Arsenal and England footballer.
You are joking.
I swear on my kid's life, right? Walks in, they're hugging like long lost friends, haven't seen each other in ages. Oh, babe, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Ian Wright just takes all his clothes off.
You were
stark,
joking.
balls naked, right? Sits down, having a cup of tea with us. I remember it clearly. Do you know those little mini cookies you get? What are they called? Anyway, I remember it clearly. I'm sitting there like just eating this, just going, what's going on? And like Ian Wright's naked, and it took him a minute, but he was like, sorry mate, I've just realised you're not naked. What's the deal? And I was like, oh, I'm not West Ham fan. I'm not a naturist, and this is the first time I've met all of you. And he goes, why don't you give it a go? So now, like, in my head, the tables have turned, right? Because I'm thinking, like, when the parents asked, that was just awkward. But now Ian Wright's asking me, in my head, I'm like, it'd be brilliant to tell the boys back at uni. So I was like, yeah, all right, Ian. So I took all my clothes off.
Did you?
Right? So I'm now sitting at this table with, you know, prospective future in-laws, Ian Wright, and we're all naked having we'll reach out. And and so we're all naked, and he turns around to me and goes, how'd you feel, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but yeah, that's all right. Bit like, I think I actually said, bit like being in the old changing rooms, Ian? Like trying to sort of build some camaraderie with him.
Really?
I was awful, painful. And then he turned around and he goes, so do you really think these are Danielle's parents? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you really think I'm chairman of the UK Naturist Society? And I was like, oh, no. And he goes, can you look in that mirror? You're on BBC's Spy TV. And I've basically been completely stitched up by Dan's. And, yeah, as a consequence, like as a consequence,
on TV.
So I ended up being naked on TV with Ian Wright.
Oh, we have to find that. Fair play to Ian Wright for getting his old boy out and just pretending he's a naturist.
Do you know what was really funny about that? The whole scenario that day, it was like my aunt, which is not my aunt, but you know how you have those people in your family who you call an aunt. Yeah, anyway, she's an Aunt Phyllis. It was her birthday, and so that night we were genuinely going to meet my actual family. It turned out the two people that were posing as her parents were actors.
That's amazing.
And yeah, just a complete stitch up. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you've not only have you been on TV naked with Ian Wright.
Yes.
Not only have you paddled the Thames.
Yeah.
Potentially one of the first.
Potentially.
But you've also came third in Guernsey Got Talent.
I don't like where this podcast has gone. I admit, I see... What were we going to talk about in this podcast?
What's this TV show called, more importantly? I can't find it on the internet.
Yeah, no, Spy TV. Spy TV. Do you know what's really funny? So since we've moved over here, there's a mate of mine that works at the BBC, and we told them the story, and they were pissing themselves. And one day it was obviously a slow news day, but I just got this message from him going, check your email, and he'd either gone himself or got someone to go into the archives and found it, and he's sent me the footage by Dropbox of me on the show.
What's his name?
Oh, what, the guy?
Your mate?
No, we're not going there. No, if you ask Dan's,
anyone-
Dan's will expose this, and yeah.
Has she got the
She's
file?
got access to that file.
You know where to send it. You know where to send it.
This is Ian McCarthy. What a guy. He was so keen to make a good impression that he got his kit off without even being asked.
Just gonna have a quick walk before
Coward farm tip. No, this guy here's a panning horse, Ian. Right? He's a panning
put it on.
Good man.
I can put a coat on and how's it going, man? Not bad.
Do you want us? I don't mind.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? You might as well. Yeah. But the thing is, how's everything going? What's happening? Yes, because like, you know what I mean? It's been...
I've never done this before in my life.
Yeah.
You know the thing about it is, you still haven't met the parents.
Yeah.
Because, well, they're not Daniel's parents and I'm not a naturist. Because this is BBC's hidden camera show, Spy TV, and you're on it. Say hello to everybody, man. Look at this. Come here, stand up, turn around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so no, it's fun. It is funny. It's funny. It's a good story. It's a great icebreaker. We got there from the Gabby, Reece, Laird Hamilton shot, but actually, so we do need to recreate that. But also, because there's a few famous nudes on boards. There's the Orlando Bloom, Katy Perry, which is I feel less comfortable about recreating, if I'm perfectly honest.
Never heard of them. Who are they?
Orlando Bloom's like a
Florist.
an actor.
Oh. Don't know.
Yeah, I actually couldn't name a film which sounds really awful, nasty, but I just can't.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't he the fella in Pirates of the Caribbean, the one who wasn't Johnny Depp.
I was going to say I was Johnny
Orlando
Depp.
Bloom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There we go.
You don't know who Orlando Bloom is?
No, I said, is he a florist?
Oh, right.
Never mind. Tough crowd.
We've gone way off track here.
What were we going to talk about?
You've got
It doesn't
an
even
hour. If you've
matter.
got an
It doesn't matter.
hour- If you've got an hour for a paddle, that's what you want to talk about. People who are short on time.
Ah, yes.
Short on time, so don't put any clothes on. Don't waste time putting a wetsuit
No.
on. Just go naked paddling.
Just go for it.
that's
go for
the
it.
link.
Yeah, so we were going to talk about limited time.
Limited time, getting out for a paddle.
Getting out for a paddle. So if you've only got an hour and a half, by the time you get to the water, how you can speed up your time.
Yeah.
Getting there.
And
what
just
to do.
maximise
Maximise, yeah.
that time.
And what to do on the water. So I'm going to hit this straight over to you.
Go for it. Yeah. Oh, to me. Oh, you can hit it straight over to me. So if I take, from my perspective, I have a stupid amount of kit, or access to a stupid amount of kit because of the SUP school. So I make no bones about the fact the greatest investment I ever made was a trailer. And it literally, there's a company called Reacher, they're German company, just super cool. The trailer that I have of theirs is like sort of industrial scale. It's like, you can cart sort of 6 to 8 boards
Or is this
on
your
ones. Yeah, the
pull
hand
along?
yeah, you can either
Not a car trailer.
not a car trailer, no. You can either attach it to the back of your bike fairly simply, or you can just pull it along by hand. Now, I'm fortunate enough, we live about a 250 yard walk from Ballyholme Beach,
Yeah.
so like I can sort of
Ballybardos? No.
Ballyharmers.
Ballyharmers.
We'll get there. We'll get you. We'll do a chat. We'll do a school mantras and hashtags chat.
Yeah.
But the so it like super lucky to be able to do that. But having that trailer just makes the access so ridiculously easy because basically I just have a day-to-day board sat on that in the garage ready to go, and all I do is walk down to the beach and I'm good to go. Like, that is my time saver, the fact that is prepped and ready at any one time. And it also means you arrive, you're not knackered because you've not been carrying it or carting it across car parks or loading it on a roof and unloading it and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because 250 yards is a really far distance to carry an inflatable paddleboard.
All right, Mr. Motivator. Yeah, and then ultimately it comes down to maximising time on the water and just getting the most out of that session. And I think there's different, like, probably got to be careful there because there's going to be different people. Like, I know you, right? So talk to me about you've got 35 minutes or something on the water.
On the water.
Tell me what you do, because you're a different beast.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Love that you take that as a massive compliment.
Well, yeah.
He called me a beast.
Oh, yes. Just thinking about you and thinking that Ian Wright
It does
and Dan's
ruin
parents were naturists.
It does ruin a lot of people's perspectives of me.
Explains a lot there.
It does, doesn't it? That and
the lunging.
I said when I go,
Explains the
the lunging, but I still don't know about
Got a
Guernsey.
really bad reputation for lunging.
Guernsey Pop Idol, 3rd place. If I've got 30 odd minutes on the water, it really depends. I'm a bit of a body wreck. I'm a bit of a body wreck. So it depends how I'm feeling on the day and what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So if I know I've got a bit of a decent paddle, or if I want to be hit in certain times, then I'll tailor it specifically for that. The first thing I do before even getting in the water is stretch.
Yeah.
Like a quick 5-minute stretch. Make sure my ankles are okay, make sure my knees and hips back, and because I broke my neck, make sure my neck is all working, a couple of little twists, little movements, and just start to get warmed up, jump on the water. I like to over-exaggerate the paddle stroke.
Yep.
When I get onto the water, so I like to choose a distance. When I first started going out, you're always deciding what to do or where to go. I like to know when I get in the water, see what the weather's doing, and go, right, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go about 1 kilometre there.
Yeah.
And in that kilometre, kind of straight line, then I'll over-exaggerate, lean out, make sure... Sorry, am I...
No, sorry, no, you're not. I just looked down and had a mini heart attack because my precious dearest watch looked like it had a massive crack. But I've just discovered one of my kids has obviously just stuck sellotape over the top of it. But I genuinely, I had a proper heart palpitation
I was going, have you forgotten to do something? What's going on?
Sorry.
You look down and realise I'm wearing pants still.
What's Ian Wright going to think of me?
Be very proud. Be very proud.
Definitely going to have to find out about that video.
So do you make, you got that short amount of time.
Yeah.
At what point are you making your decision on what you're going to do in that session?
I'll kind of know on the day what I'm going to do. So if I'm practicing turns, if I want to do shuttles and do sprints, or if I'm working on something, I like to try to I'll focus on one thing specifically, but that can change with, as we've discussed before, weather conditions and everything. But I'll know on that day. I don't like to really go too far in advance and work on something. I don't race, It's not as if I'm a professional athlete, even though I'm a beast. And there's certain things that I want to work on. But yeah, I'll kind of feel how my body is on the day. So yeah, I'll go out, over-exaggerate thing, get everything moving, see how I'm feeling, see what the weather and what the sea conditions are like, and then go from there. But I'll always try to improve on something. I won't just go for a dander, because if I'm going out quick.
And I would have said that about you. You're not, like, in my experience of observing your paddling, you're not a danderer, you're not a moocher. Like, if you have time on the water, and I think this is, like, for me, I find this interesting because there is a whole spectrum of characters, if you like, that hit the water when they go for a paddle. I think everyone has, like, different primary objectives.
Yeah.
So, like, yours is you would fall in the camp of people who want to sort of constantly improve. Like, each session is an opportunity to do that, and therefore you're looking at, what can I be doing? Can I be working on my catch? Can I be, like, is it placement of blade or whatever it might be to improve those, like, on each session? Whereas there'll be other people that will go out and they will, I can think of a few friends, for example, that would, literally paddleboard for the headspace. So, like, every time they paddle, their first thought is, like, where's the calmest spot that I can just sit and forget that I have 3 screaming kids at home or anything? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
definitely.
That,
I do that as well, but not when I've only got an hour.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm conscious of it.
Yeah,
do you know
yeah,
what I mean? If I'm going out and it's really quick, I'll try to do something. Don't get me wrong. I've gone out on times and I've paddled out 500 meters. Yeah. Lie down on the board, look around, relax, and do all that. But yeah, if I've got a shot...
Is that when someone called the RNLI on you and said that you were surfing the wake of the Stena?
Yeah, that was it. What can you do?
Busted.
What can you do?
Like, when you're off the water, have you got anything you would recommend to anyone, just in terms of speeding up process? So the big one I think of that people would find useful is, like, the quickest way of getting your wetsuit dry, so that if you've been in one day, you're like, oh, tomorrow looks good as well and I could squeeze in 40 minutes early doors. How do I get my wetsuit dry quick? Yeah,
that's a good point. I'm just not that much of a wimp, so I've just bought a couple. No, you're dead right. You want to have it accessible. What I do, if my wetsuit is still really cold and wet, I'll put it in the shower in warm water.
Yeah. And just getting wet, warm.
Getting wet, warm is far better.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I prefer getting changed at home, get the wetsuit on, because then I can...
driving in that or walking or whatever.
Yeah, because then you can go out, you can hit the water. You can go out, you can grab your stuff. I've got a grab bag, which is, depends what board I'm taking, how I'm transporting it. Yeah. If it's the iRocker, I've got a couple of, like, quick release fins. The leash is constantly, it's always permanently attached to the board. My paddles are all in the same place. Everything has got its own little place, so I know I can grab that bag. That's my buoyancy aid, that's the fins, that's everything I need. Yeah. It's my aqua pack, it's everything communication-wise, so I can get out in the water. Yeah. If I've got a limited period of time as well, I'll always try to hit high tide, so I don't have to walk too far, or a couple of hours before, so I can have it on the way back. That's not always possible, so that will be... So if it's low tide, I'll go somewhere like to us,
where
which
it
is
matters,
low, where it matters
less.
Yeah, so I can just get out, jump in. And then, it's just being confident about knowing... And it's just, making sure that you know what you've got, you're happy you've got it. Yeah. Once it's there, and then go in and work on something. I like working on my breathing as well when I'm out in the water, making sure, because a lot of people go too hard on it and everything, and they don't think about breathing, and breathing's a big thing. Yeah. But maximise your time on the water, and it can be anything, and it can be you just chilling. But but when you chill, how are you going to make it easier? How is it going to be more fun? If you're starting off and, you just go, I want to go out for a nice relaxed one, and you go, no, I'm not too sure, and the conditions are not good, look around, try to go somewhere that's nice and calmer, and then relax with it.
If I've got very little time on the water, I go out, I eyeball it. I've had a look at the conditions. I know roughly by the time I get there what it's going to be playing out like. Eyeball it in the moment, and I pick a spot, and I will basically make a decision within, like, whilst I'm putting my leash on, am I going 100% to the fixed point? So it might be a buoy, it might be a marker around the headland.
Would you go 100% from the off?
This is the decision. As I'm putting my leash on, I'll be like, right, what do I want this session to be? Do I want to, like, am I in a place where I want to just max myself for the 30 minutes and go for it? Or do I want to take a bit easy, bit on and off, do a pyramid or whatever? But ultimately, having already had a good idea of what the conditions are going to be like, probably before I've even got there, I know, like, where I want to go or what marker I'm going to use. But again, like, you're talking to someone that tries to be on the water, like, every day in nearly the same spot. So, like, I have the benefits of having all those reference points.
What would you say to someone who's starting out, or, you know, has been paddleboarding a year or so, and you're going, right, you've got a limited period of time, what's the best thing you can do to progress? Too wide a question?
Too wide a question, just from the perspective that, like, it's down to the individual. So, like, that person might need to practice mobility on the board. Yeah. So
yeah. Pick something then. You know, so just choose.
Yeah,
choose
exactly.
one.
And just you can do that before you've got there. You can say, right, today I'm going to focus on step back turns or pivot turns, whatever you call them, or I'm going to practice on my cadence, or I'm going to practice on, like, my exit from the water, whatever it is. Like, you can have those things in your head that you yourself will probably know you need to work on. So yeah, I think that it's fairly straightforward. It's sort of just, you make those quick decisions, because ultimately you've got brief amount of time. You're not going to be yomping off for miles. It's literally, how do I feel right now, and what is my capacity to put in a bit of effort and get the most out of this session.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And would you, just the last thing, do you do any lunges at all? For what?
Always. Lunging.
Always.
Lunges and squats. Ever take headphones or a waterproof speaker out with you?
No, definitely not.
Why? I don't know why I did it in that voice. Why?
Sacrilege.
Really?
Yeah.
To nature?
Yeah. To your mind, your body and your soul. No, me personally, no, I don't want to. I actually enjoy the sound.
Yeah.
Especially on my Infinity, which is gorgeous.
It just drops it in there.
Yeah.
I've got blackfish. Got an Infinity blackfish.
Got a little blackfish.
Ooh, flat deck. Ooh.
It's lovely.
I'd be like, what was that old...
Suits you, sir.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking.
Was it paddleboard, sir? 14 feet long.
Flat deck. 27 inches wide, sir. Oh, suit you.
Do you know why I chose 27 inches wide?
Why what?
Why the width?
Why you chose 27?
Yeah.
Why did you go for 27?
So this is completely off topic,
Yeah.
but I've got an Infinity
I've
blackfish.
already forgotten what we were supposed to be talking about.
Infinity blackfish, 14 feet by 27.
Yeah.
So I found, and I use a couple of different scientific models to do this, but I found that if you choose the width that also correlates with yours and your wife's birthday, which is the 27th, that works quite well.
I think that's
How
right.
you worked it out.
Yeah.
That is...
27th of June, if anyone wants to send me a present.
I think if you go on a lot of the board manufacturers' website, that's what they do. They sort of say type in yours and your partner's birthday, and then they tell you the width of board you should have.
That's why I feel really sorry for someone born on the 5th. That doesn't really
They're on a
work.
slack line.
yeah. That's not very stable, that, is it? But yeah, I digress. What were we talking about?
Drying the wetsuit. Where do you hang yours? Where do you? Because I hang mine in my garage, but
I think we can just hit this fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
If I'm perfectly honest.
Washing machine and tumble dryer. Yeah. I think it's absolute
You're
fallacy.
one of them.
Without question.
What?
It dries
I
it.
bet you don't believe in a vaccine either.
Don't tell me. You sang Spandau Ballet and got 3rd place in Guernsey's Got Talent.
Do you know what?
Is there a video of that as well we could get
Oh
up?
God, I hope not. Oh no, I hope not.
You sang Spandau Ballet. I guessed that.
You did guess
You
that.
can
I heard
tell.
that here.
And you could tell that he likes golf.
Yeah. Yes.
It says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
It does say a lot.
I feel very judged, guys.
Escort
Yeah.
XR3i?
No, never. I always dreamed of it.
I used to have the XR3i alloys on an Escort van that I lowered.
I was the sort of kid that learnt to drive late, drove a Fiesta, and like I come originally from a place in Essex where they're famous for sort of Escort XR3is, as you just described, with their lights and radio playing silly music. So I used to drive my Fiesta around the same sort of promenade that these guys did, but I blasted out classic FM.
Oh, did you?
Because
Well done.
I was that kid,
Well done.
Yeah.
Like I'm not proud of that.
You should be. A friend of mine spent like $6,000 on an amplifier and like proper like boy racer speakers, and he used to put System
I
of a
can't-
Down.
System
Just
down.
put- yeah, like play chop suey, like just turning up and just blatting it out. Yeah, good on him.
So I can't believe you're a washing machine tumble dryer guy with wetsuits.
Really?
Yeah, that's taken me by surprise.
Well-
actually does it.
Yeah. Well, only with one. Only with one wetsuit.
At a time.
No.
Oh,
just only with one of my wetsuits.
Right. Okay.
Because I want to know if it is as bad as what people make out and as if
And how long have you been doing this?
18 months.
And no
Problem at all.
impact.
No, I use a hand wash cycle. I'll wash it in the bath first of all, like quickly dunk it.
Yeah.
And then say every 5 times I use it, I'll whack it in the washing machine on a hand wash cycle, and then I'll whack it in the tumble dryer to see.
Okay. Bold. Yeah.
Why?
I just think heat and the joins of a lot of those
My
wetsuits is
tumble
not
dryer is one of those weird heat pump things,
Right.
and it doesn't
allow over a certain temperature.
It
or something
doesn't
like
get
that. Okay.
really hot, and it takes like hours to do.
Okay, yeah, no, maybe
it's
that's-
energy
yeah, yeah.
efficient, and it doesn't like really heat it. If you pull it out half cycle, it's warm,
Right.
but it's not.
Because I always find I sort of.
Because I just
I'm-
don't believe people.
Inside out or normal way around the wetsuit?
Inside out.
And is it
generally.
thermal inside or is it just a regular like?
No,
thickness
that
suit?
one's just 3.5, I think it is. I think
What
the
one's
5
that one? The Mystic or the?
No, the O'Neill one.
The O'Neill. All right.
Rip Curl. Can't remember the one with the orange
Yeah,
arms.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I wanted to try it because I was going, well, why? I don't get it. I don't understand.
I
what's-
imagine it would melt the glue bind stitch.
Yeah.
if you're using heat, but mine's not using heat. So I wanted to see if it works or
Yeah.
not. And it's brand new, smells lovely.
Sure, you could put it in a wash machine like on a spin.
Well, hand wash.
I'm
for
sure.
delicates.
And I'm sure.
It's really cold, it's not even 20 degrees, and it just...
I'm sure it's possible.
flops it
But if I'm
round.
perfectly honest, I think like putting your wetsuit in the washing machine is less time efficient, in my opinion. Because what's your minimum run time on a wash machine?
25 minutes.
25 minutes, right? And what's your run time on sticking it under the shower and rinsing it through? Like less than 3?
Yeah, and what about all the water when it traipses through the house, getting it to dry somewhere?
Well, you don't. You leave it hanging in the shower or over the bath.
Condensation.
That exists in your bathroom anyway, and you should probably
Have
have
air
a
vent.
fan or an air vent
Yeah.
sort it out. Yeah, no,
How often do you whiz in your wetsuit?
every use.
How often do you what?
How would you wash them with?
How often do you do a wee in your wetsuit?
I never do.
No, I don't.
Why don't they have a zip?
Let's do right. If you've got any questions whatsoever about wetsuits or dry suits,
Don't listen
send
to
them
him.
to us. Send them to us, and we'll do a full chat and debrief on wetsuits.
Yeah.
because it is a massive topic. There is such a spectrum of stuff out there, and I think, like, if I'm honest, like everything, as I say probably too much. Everything's about purpose. So, you know, you have to look at what are you using that suit for, and therefore that's going to guide a lot of the decision making on where you go and what you go for. So yeah, but we'll do a full episode.
Yeah,
on that,
I agree with that,
because we've got a decent between us as well. We've got a big broad spectrum of different suits, you know, thicknesses, cuts, everything.
Shorties, full lengths, long johns.
So we'll go through all of that, and I think that would be useful for a few people. So yeah, drop us any questions or thoughts. If you want us to cover it off specifically, we can address that. That'd be cool.
And just one thing about your trailer. Is there any distributors around here? Is there a Reach around? Any?
I honestly don't know. I bought it direct.
Is
from
it Reacher?
Reach. I think Reacher is how you say it. Reacher.de is their website. Just
German.
to give them a plug. They're German. Honestly, I can't praise it enough. It's a really good piece of kit, and I've seen some of their smaller models, which is just for like carting one board and or like two. It's all just super good.
Yeah, that trailer is awesome.
They are. You can put it this way: if you type like kayak or SUP trailer into Amazon, you know, there's a big price difference. You know, you can't hide that, but it is absolutely worth it, because it is, you know, like anything German you expect, it's designed and it is very well thought through. You know, like it's. So yeah, no, they're super cool, and I would recommend anyone who is in walking distance of a body of water where they're likely to be paddling, definitely invest in a trailer. Like it's game changing for you.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Cool. Right, that's enough of that jibber jabber. I can't believe we went where we went.
You did it.
I know. That was my bad.
We were talking about...
My bad.
Yeah, something about paddleboards, and then you're talking about Ian Wright.
Yeah.
And getting naked.
Welcome to the SupHub show.
And on that bombshell, tune in next week.
See you next week, where Adam gets... Yeah, no.
Yeah, we can.
Can we?
Yeah,
Can we do that story?
Of course not, yeah.
Yes. Right, we'll do that one next time.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Ciao for now.
Do you want to? I don't mind.